Welcome to Our Place in Our World, brought to you by the RHS Stampede.
Hey guys, welcome back to our next podcast, first one of the 2019 year, and today we are talking about government shutdown. So, I'm Joy,
I'm Jordan.
I'm Bianca.
and we have a special guest today.
No.
Okay, so like I said earlier, we're talking about the government shutdown and like how it's like affected a lot of people like who are just working without pay. Like, so you see all this stuff like on social media and on the internet saying how people are like they don't know when their next paycheck is coming in. Like they're just working to work and like they have to feed their families. Like, so how does it make you feel like seeing that?
I think it's like ridiculous because it hasn't been more than a month now since it's been going on and everything. And every day on the news, like I watch the news every morning with my parents just because, I wake up early for leadership. And every time they're talking about TSA and everything in the airport and how like the lines are ridiculously long and you can't get anywhere anymore. And then I've heard some things even about like, I don't know, like milk and how things aren't being like checked correctly anymore because they're not being paid enough or like not even paid at all. So people are like calling in sick all the time. So everything's kind of just deteriorating slowly. And the fact that it's been going on for a month and nothing's been happening because of the president's arrogant attitude, it's like ridiculous to me.
Yeah, I don't know, because the whole reason why the government is shut down is because the president wants to, he's putting his foot down on, and wants to keep the whole wall thing. He wants his money for the wall. And I don't see why the government has to be shut down to have this debate. The government could be totally reopened and the debate could still go on because it was open while they were still having this debate while it was open, So they could just reopen it so all these people can get paid. I heard this a few stories that there are some federal workers who are actually killing themselves because they don't know how to afford their lifestyle anymore because they aren't getting paid, and so they don't see any other way out, so they just decide to kill themselves, and that's not what we should be standing for. That's not what we should allow to happen. So I really think the government should reopen.
Yeah, I kind of agree on that. I kind of feel like, at least with the point that you brought up about the TSA workers just calling in sick, I kind of feel like it's a very stubborn way for him to kind of exert his power on all the people and the federal workers that are trying to, support their families and not only themselves, but, the people around them. And so I feel like it's a very poor tactic on his choice, and the fact that he's given his power, he kind of abuses it. And so a lot of workers are trying to call in sick so that at least they can get paid sick leave, but that's still not enough because also they're creating a void that needs to be filled. And so since those workers can't work because they're not getting paid, it's kind of like a lot of people are just showing up for, no pay. And so that's kind of a big issue, obviously, that, needs to be resolved. And so I kind of feel like with Trump and the whole wall thing, it's kind of, obviously it's a sensitive topic, but I feel like, this issue could be resolved with the government still being resumed.
Another thing like people have been saying, they're like, oh well, Obama shut down the government for so many days, but people don't realize Obama shut it down for healthcare, so that people who aren't making as much money could be able to afford it, and they could be able to get better healthcare rather than just being left, to fend for themselves. Whereas, like what Noah was saying about the government shutdown in Trump's case, where I feel like we can set a budget when the government is open. It doesn't have to be closed because, like Jordan and Bianca said, a lot of people are just suffering, and it's just not the way to go.
I also saw this one report last night. They were saying that there are hiring some people in the government, and they're also trying to wait it out until March to see what happens to the economy if the government is still shut down. That is why. For what is the reason? You are letting again over 800,000 workers go without pay just to see how the economy will fare. That's completely ridiculous.
Yeah, I kind of feel like his actions are causing more harm than good, and I kind of feel like with the whole controversy surrounding the topic of just building the wall in general, a lot of people are trying to seek refuge in America, and by building that wall, a lot of people can't, and so obviously there are reasons to why he would want one, and like seeing from his viewpoint, I get why, but also, I mean, I kind of feel like just building the wall in general would cause more harm than good, and I mean, the past however long we haven't had I wouldn't say a secure wall, but I mean there still are a ton of immigrants that are coming in. But I mean they're coming in because a lot of times the places that they're living in aren't as economically stable as here in America. And so I mean you kind of got to realize that America being the land of opportunity, we're giving a lot of jobs to illegal immigrants, but at the same time they're also the workforce and they're doing a lot of jobs that many American citizens wouldn't do. So you got to look at it, I mean, at an economical standpoint, that by shutting down the government, you're not only just losing workers because they're not getting paid, but you're also trying to, I wouldn't say support, but you're trying to get the bill for the wall being built passed. And so that's kind of another controversial issue that, wouldn't be succeeded without the help from the government.
I feel that even with the shutdown, if it continues even any further, like until March, that feels ridiculous because the country is literally going to go into ruins. Like, if we don't have these workers, who's going to do it for us? You're not even letting immigrants to help in and like do the work that we won't do, or then people don't want to go to work anymore because there's no incentive to do it anymore. So where does it go from here? Do you just want to keep letting everyone suffer and let everything go to shambles and we're going to be like in a depression or anything, like a really bad situation? So they should just like reopen it and have everything go back to normal, at least to the best that we can.
Yeah, and like Bianca and Noah were saying about how like people come up here and they do jobs that we don't want to do, and it's true. Like people, they farm. We don't want to get out there and be on the farm and pick fruits and stuff like that, like in the agriculture and stuff like that. Like we don't want to do that, and so like even though them coming over here legally is wrong, but they do help our economy in that sense, where like minimum wage is like $12, I believe, in California. But if you're working on the farm with no legal documents, you can bring down that price and bring down get paid less money, and like that just helps like our economy like in a way. So like I just feel like Trump shutting down the government doesn't see what he's doing to other people's lives because he's living comfortably. The White House, their lights aren't gonna go off. So, yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, in my opinion, so their whole campaign is that, oh, if we build this wall, our borders will be secure, there will be less crime, less drugs, etc. But the drugs are coming from other ports of entry, such as airports and boats, and there actually are a lot more drugs coming in through the Canada border than there are the Mexican border. So if that's the case, why not, if you are so bent on building a wall, then why not build one at the Canada border? So it creates the problem as, is it actually really based off race? And in my opinion, I honestly believe it is based on race.
And they're making like this whole like not popular, but like what people think, they like think of a Mexican now, like he wants people to think
It's
like,
the
oh,
whole-
all you do is farm, you're just illegal, your whole family is not meant to be
It's the whole fear
here.
tactic of, oh, they're rapists, they're
Drug
drug-
lords
Yes,
and all that.
and that's not true every single time. A lot of them are just poor and that they just want a better life for their family.
Yeah.
Because even the little stuff they get paid here is so much more than what they would get back
Exactly.
there.
Right.
I also feel like what Trump is doing, he's trying to create like a connotation and a persona that all the immigrants that are flooding illegally into the United States are like harmful and like they're gonna cause
Right.
more problems. But in reality, he's the one that's, while creating that, that depraved connotation of them, he's kind of making it, in a sense, like really controversial in the fact that, the immigrants coming over, they're trying to do good and support their families, and he's trying to say that, they're like selling drugs or they're rapists. And so he's really, instead of like trying to unite the country as a whole, he's really dividing them into, two opposite different sides, the side that obviously supports him and the side that wants the wall, and obviously the side that disagrees with him and, feels like the wall shouldn't be created. So I feel like obviously I said it a lot that he's causing more harm than good, but I mean, it's true. He's dividing the country into like two opposing sides, and especially with the government shutdown, he's kind of just proving his point that, you know, he wasn't really completely fit for the presidential job.
Yeah, I wanted to add something. Bianca had mentioned the TSA is shut down, and since they control the security at the airports and just everything at the airport, this is a high time for a possible terrorist attack. They have a totally better chance of somebody coming to
Succeeding.
attack because there is not enough security. There aren't people that are working how they would if they were getting paid. So this, like Noah said, Trump is causing a lot more harm than good, because what if a terrorist attack does happen? Then what will we do then, and who will be at fault? The Trump administration will be at fault for this.
I also want to add, because you said earlier, Jordan, you said that in airports and boats, like that's where a lot of drugs come in. And even to add on to like terrorism, like if like TSA, can't like do their job well, then that also leads to drugs coming in, now terrorism. So it's just, we're trying to protect the country, I guess, what Trump is trying to do. It's just making it worse and more fatal.
All right. Any other last minute comments?
No, I mean, just the main sum of this is that there's not, the government should be reopened for the whole wall debate to continue, and that the government shouldn't have been really shut down in the first place.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for our podcast, Our Place in the World. I'm Joy.
I'm Jordan.
I'm Bianca.
Noah.
Thank you.